What's the word, ladies and gentlemen? This is Andrew, and with Overwatch coming out, the open beta just right around the corner, I figured, there's gonna be a lot of new players, and a lot of people be wondering, which heroes are best for just starting out on and all that stuff, because Overwatch has a bunch of different characters, more to come in the future, and it can get kind of daunting, you don't know which ones to start off on. So I figured I would come up with a list of the most noob-friendly, in my opinion, the most noob-friendly heroes in Overwatch. Now, there are a bunch of different interpretations, right? Whenever you hear someone say, oh, that's a noob class, that could either mean that class is ridiculously overpowered or ridiculously weak or have a low skill cap or something. But that's not exactly what I'm getting at here. I guess I just wanted to come up with a list of heroes that are the most accessible, easy to pick up, but yet effective heroes in Overwatch for new players. So without further ado, let's get started. I guess starting us off is the most generic of all heroes, that is of course Soldier 76. Now the reason why he is quote-unquote generic is because he resembles kind of the closest to what you would expect from a modern shooter, right? He's got the hit scan bullets, you got the regular spread type mechanic with a gun. It's very familiar with what most people are used to. He has the Helix rockets, which are essentially like a miniature AoE ability, and he's also got a healing station, which is great because then you don't have to rely on medics so much. So kind of all those things combined, I would say as a new player who's played maybe Counter-Strike or Call of Duty or Dirty Bomb, or basically if you come from a more traditional modern shooter, you would feel right at home with Soldier 76 just because he is pretty much that in Overwatch. He's the closest thing to what you are used to in Overwatch, because most of the Overwatch heroes, they've got some pretty crazy stuff. So Soldier's pretty vanilla, but that doesn't make him boring at all. I mean, his ultimate is essentially an auto aim hacks thing. You guys may groan and say how awful that is and how cheap that is, but it's really not that bad. Going against it, you cannot land headshots with it on. Honestly, in my opinion, as a player who has, decent aim, I found that oftentimes in CQC 1v1 situations, have a much easier time just manually aiming for the head. And yeah, I don't know, the ultimate is best suited if you kind of get the jump on a bunch of different enemies who aren't looking at you. You still have the same magazine size as you would normally, so it's not like you can just hold down the left click button. You still gotta play somewhat tactically, but the auto aim is there for the ultimate, which is quite nice if you want to pick up a quick couple of kills. Another great thing about Soldier 76 is that he can sprint. That's right, guys, a left shift sprint, that you're so accustomed to in other shooters. And of course, sprinting is something a lot of the other heroes don't have. I mean, Lucio has a speed boost, but it's not quite the same as just being able to sprint whenever you want. Now for defensive heroes, I want to say Bastion is a pretty good pick for a new player. Just kind of starting out, his primary fire is very similar to that of Soldier 76. He can even heal himself much like Soldier 76, so it's sort of like a defensive counterpart to Soldier 76. However, where he really stands out is his sentry mode, which is essentially where you deploy and you have this amazing freaking minigun thing that just shoots death at people. You don't need crazy aim for this to work. It shoots so quickly, it does so much damage. You don't need to have perfect aim. I know a lot of new players who, perhaps haven't played a FPS in quite some time. Bastion is, I want to say sentry mode Bastion is pretty much easy mode. You don't have to aim that much. Of course, the hard part is basically positioning, right? If you're a sentry, you can't really move, so you're kind of a sitting target for Widowmakers and Pharahs to kind of take you out pretty easily. So the key behind playing Bastion and Sentry is to really work on figuring out nice positioning. Getting to a spot where you can really hold down a choke point, which is, I think, good training for a new player, right? I mean, a new player would have to kind of learn the different maps and choke points and key areas. So playing as Bastion on defense really gets you going with that sort of thing. Now his ultimate is of course where he turns into a moving tank, and his shots are really powerful. If you get the ultimate on Bastion as a new player, they do have quite a bit of a blast radius. You don't have to land directly on people. So I think getting kills as Bastion in the ultimate form, it's pretty straightforward. It doesn't require perfect aim, but definitely rewards good aim. Ironically, even though Bastion can turn into a tank, he's not technically the tank class. Of the tank classes in Overwatch, I want to say Oh, this is tough, but I think I would have to go with Diva for this one. I was gonna say Winston, but honestly, Diva for me, I always feel so safe playing Diva because technically you have two lives, right? You have the robot life, and then you have the pilot's life. So once your robot dies, you don't actually die. Your hero kind of hops out of the cockpit, and you can wander around, and you're really squishy, really vulnerable, but you don't technically die. You can summon another robot. So I feel like Diva's pretty noob friendly. I mean, you can basically keep holding down the trigger and you never have to reload, right? She has unlimited ammo. Another great thing is that the robot can fly. That's right, guys. You guys can actually flank around, do whatever you gotta do. I know everyone comes into Overwatch with a bunch of different play styles, so it's always nice to have a hero with options. And Diva, she definitely has options. You can fly around, you can flank, you can escape. Heck, you can even self-destruct your own robot if things are looking bad. So, I don't know, Diva is such a nice tank, man. She's got so many different options. She's so powerful and extremely resilient. I mean, it's like having two lives as Diva. So, Diva definitely has my vote for the best tank for noobs. Obviously, if you're just starting off in Overwatch, I would definitely give all the tanks a try. They're all tons and tons of fun. Roadhog is lots of fun. But at least for me, Diva is definitely my go-to tank. Next up, we finally have our support characters, and honestly, I think most of the support characters are okay to play as. You know, they tend to be squishy, they require a lot of awareness, map awareness, just overall game sense to kind of play well. So in my opinion, they're all kind of difficult to kind of pull off to like be a good support, but if I had to pick one support that would probably be the most palatable to noobs, I want to say Lucio. And even though there's tons of guides on how to, you know, wall run as Lucio, and I can tell the skill cap is pretty high on Lucio, I feel like just out of the box, man. Out of the box, not only does he have an AoE heal, so you don't have to like actively target heroes to heal them, he also has like an AoE speed boost, which makes him extremely slippery. He's got a pretty decent amount of DPS, right? His 4-burst little pulse thing is pretty decent, you know, does a fair bit of damage, as well as his secondary fire, which is essentially a pushback. And that's always handy for kind of being able to push your enemy back a little bit, get some distance between you two. He's pretty versatile, just kind of right out of the box. He's got that ultimate, which is essentially a giant shield boost. It makes everyone in the AoE extremely tanky. So, I don't know, Lucio's a pretty solid pick for a new player. Zenyatta is also good, but I think he's a little squishy, you know, for a new player, just kind of jumping right into Overwatch who doesn't know really anything. Zenyatta can be kind of hard to kind of get around to. Mercy, you know, she's great and all, but I feel like it requires a lot of awareness, you know, game sense to kind of play her well. And she has very little offensive capability. Symmetra's actually not half bad, just the only problem with Symmetra is you can't actually directly heal someone. You can throw shields around, you can set up turrets. Even her primary fire is kind of like Winston's, it kind of locks onto people, but I think Lucio can heal, he can get in and out pretty quickly, and he also packs quite a bit of a punch. So, you know, at the end of the day, those are my picks for new players. If you want to get started in Overwatch, you know, I would start with those four. Of course, this is just my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. I'm sure people in the comments will be like, oh my god, Candy, are you an idiot? Why didn't you mention Reaper? He is so noob. Oh my god, all the noobs use him. Well, I guess if I took the time to actually address every single inquiry on why every other hero didn't make it to my list, this video would be about, I don't know, freaking 3 hours long. So, you know, these heroes are just sort of based off of my experience from the closed beta. I put a lot of hours into this game, played a bunch of different matches, and honestly guys, I mean, these are just the heroes that, you know, thinking back, if I just started to Overwatch, these would probably be the most simple, more intuitive heroes to pick up. Now, obviously, if you guys have a hero or heroes that you'll suggest for new players to try out, let me know down in the comments. And honestly, guys, if I see like a pattern with certain heroes, then just for you guys, just for kind of giving me feedback, I'll put together like a community-based suggestion video for new players. So you have the Candy Roo edition, and then you have the community edition, which, you know, I think would be kind of cool. Anyways, if you're new to my channel, I plan on doing more Overwatch videos, and I also do videos for a game called Dirty Bomb, so be sure to check those out. And I guess until next time, I'll see you in the next one.
Damn, son.